big part of the job is
Rated
looking for the
teen.
worst in people.
Whoa,
Turns
what
out
is
I
all
excel
that?
at
You a PI?
it. I'm just trying to make a living, you know, booze costs money. Usually.
Something's going on.
Jessica Jones.
Yes, Jessica Jones.
I saw you.
Hi, I'm Peter and I'm the game director on Dreadnought.
What do you
Hi, I'm Eno and I'm a designer on
And
Dreadnought.
everything is running at
Dreadnought
the
is an
same
upcoming
time.
free-to-play aerial armada action game that focuses on big spaceship battles. It contains 5 classes in each.
A slow-moving car.
The way I see it, being a hero.
Yeah, so that just gave you all a taste of like everything all at once, unfortunately. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. If that wasn't a preview of what is to come today, then I don't know what is. Hello. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. Today, Geekswagg has a bunch of stuff that we're hoping to get going. And of course, the technical difficulties are running rampant right now. So let me try to see if I can get the rest of the co-hosts up in this piece. Because of course, Skype does not want to work with me today. Could not hear my co-host Makeda, but she is in the throes, holding off, trying to see if she can get into the mix. She had to restart her computer, so let's see how that goes. Get the chat room back up here so I can see everybody. Give me a shout out if y'all are in there, so I know who's out there while I am waiting for Makeda as well as Jason to jump in. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, today, as we have noted for our title today, we are actually going to delve into a whole lot of stuff that is very spacey, Star Warsy, space simi, you know, just anything that has to do with space this week in honor of Star Wars Battlefront, which of course I don't think anybody on the podcast actually has, unfortunately. But as I said last week, I do plan on having this game and getting this game. I've heard a lot of interesting things about it though. Honestly, I think that it's going to turn out to be one of those Evolve kind of games. A lot of hype, a lot of quality in the gameplay, but unfortunately it you know, it's probably going to end up being one of those games that not a lot of people end up playing for an extended amount of time. You know, I think a lot of people that are going to be playing it for a long time are going to end up having to buy the season pass, because that's going to have, you know, a ton more maps, a ton more heroes, and everything that probably have to do with the new movie. And that's probably what they were banking on in the first place. But that's going to make a lot of the people that want to buy just the regular game feel gypped. So, oh, here goes Makeda. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what happened with that. I swear it was working earlier, and I just got caught up.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's, you know what happened? Right after I started the feed and I started streaming, all of a sudden every video that I had queued up to actually play on the show just completely started running at the same time. So it was like nobody could see the video, but they could hear everything in the background. I was like, what's going on? What do I have open? Oh my god, what's going on? So it was like everybody got an instant preview of all the stuff that I wanted to actually show on the show. So they got a little quick preview of what we were going into today. But say hello to the people, Makeda.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
So yeah, kind of like I was telling everybody, this is going to be a spacey kind of show, not necessarily dedicated to Star Wars, but in honor of Star Wars, because of Star Wars Battlefront this week. So I figured a lot of what we would kind of talk about, for at least a portion of the show anyways, is just a lot of the different space games, you know, that we've enjoyed over the years, whether they were Star Wars or otherwise. and especially stuff that are epics. You know, not necessarily just, hey, this was just, you know, something that was in space that had lasers in it, but you know, something that was like a space soap opera or story or something that you got caught up in that captured your imagination, that kind of thing. Because for me, that's kind of what Star Wars was when it came out. Being I basically grew up in the, you know, right in the midst of Empire Strikes Back and all that other kind of stuff. So, you know, Battlefront is kind of right down my road, and it's been interesting to see a lot of the early feedback and reviews that people have been putting out there. Have you seen anything yet?
Well, I have no interest in Star Wars. I have absolutely no interest in it.
Well, it's interesting though, because you remember how, let's see, maybe like a year ago, there was like a lot of hype around Evolve.
Yes.
And how Evolve, you know, it was intended to be just mainly just a multiplayer game with no single player, right? So that apparently was what DICE decided they wanted to do with this game. So they figured, you know, Star Wars Battlefront, you don't really need a single player mode. All you really need is multiplayer. So from what I've been seeing, of course, all the diehard Star Wars fans are like, yo, this is without a doubt, you know, the one and only Star Wars experience that gets you into whatever, you know, historical Star Wars battle that you ever wanted to play in. It's just instantly Star Wars atmosphere. So they're hype about it. They love it. They think it's great, right? And then you got your surface fans that are like, okay, it's Star Wars. It looks like Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars. But where's the content?
Right.
You know, they're like, it, and a part of me kind of felt it coming the second that people started saying that it was going to be, you know, just multiplayer only, regardless of the fact that it has a lot of modes, you know. And it kind of makes me wonder whether or not, you know, Star Wars Battlefront, despite the fact that it's done by, you know, the makers of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, we've seen, you know, we've kind of seen how that road has gone lately. Whether or not this will be one of those games that just ends up on the wayside, kind of like, you know, kind of like, well, I guess you could almost say kind of like Titanfall and kind of like Evolve did.
Right.
You know, they were hyped for like the first month or two, and then after that, it kind of tapered off into yawn, yawn. Okay, on to the next one. You know what I mean? Right. And a part of me feels like that's kind of the way people are going to start feeling after, maybe after like around Christmas time or something like that. Because I don't think they have any plans on releasing a whole lot of DLC that's free. Instead, they already put out a plan that they're going to have a whole bunch of DLC that's paid, that you can only get, of course, through like the season pass, or, you know, of course, paying more money, you know, at the beginning of the year. So it's all, you know, it already feels like that, I guess you could almost say to the same effect of Battlefield 4, for, you know, to a degree, that you're going to have, excuse me, you're going to have like the set maybe 5 or 6 maps or something like that, and then it's going to get really stale after you've played it for like the 50th time, you know, in like a week or so, you know what I mean? Right. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what direction DICE decides to go with it, even though they've already announced, you know, oh, we've got paid DLC, we've got more heroes that you can be, we've got more maps, like 16 more maps, new modes, and all this other kind of stuff. And then everybody else that bought the game that's like, I don't want to spend any more money on it, are going to be throwing their hands up in there like, but what about us? You know, people that bought the game, we want more for what we paid for, rather than more so that we can pay for more. You know what I mean? Right. Which, in a sense, I think that was kind of how people felt with Evolve. You know, in order to get the, you know, in order to get the new the new hunters or the new monsters, you had to pay for the DLC. You know,
Right.
so it'll really be interesting to see how long Battlefront lasts. You know, because that's about how it seems like it's going to be right now.
Yeah, I'm mostly just kind of whatever about it. Like I said, I mean, I like Star Wars, but I'm not like a hardcore fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like I was kind of on the same level with Evolve. Like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, you get to either be the monster or you get to fight the monster." I was just like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then I find out that it was hype. I think maybe I have like gamer premonitions on games that are gonna be horrible because I did that with Destiny.
Right.
Because you remember my little rant on Destiny. I was like, you guys don't get it, and everybody got it, and they regretted it. So
it's very true.
I don't know. I think that, just for the record, I don't think that Star Wars Battlefront is gonna be whack. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
More or less not that interested. I might get it just for shits and giggles. Yeah, just for shits and giggles, and have something to play with for my friends. I may stream it or something like that because it looks like it's gonna be a fun game, but it's not like on my top list of, oh my god, I gotta have that game. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely understandable. And a part of me was kind of the same way. You know, I knew I wanted it. I just wasn't certain when I was going to be able to get it, and I wasn't going to pre-order it because, and like I said before, honestly, I think by the time it hits, maybe, let's see, what kind of prediction can we make? Give it until maybe June or July. I'm guessing, depending on, you know, I'm thinking depending on when they actually finish releasing their paid DLC, I'm almost 100% certain by at least September of next year, they're going to have the Ultimate Edition Star Wars Battlefront with all the DLC for like, what, 50 or $60 or something like that, the new version, and it's going to have everything in it.
Right.
So, you know, and a part of me is like, man, you know what? I might have to wait until that point, but I think I might get lucky because I know, and I think I said this last week, I think my shiny new PS4 will be the limited edition Star Wars Battlefront bundle. So if my sister was truthful about what she said, that might be my Christmas gift this year. So I might not have to worry about it. So yay me.
Well, I don't know where, you know, speaking of Christmassy stuff, I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm trying to decide
what's on your list.
Yeah, like I'm thinking I may get an Xbox One. I love my PS4, but I have some friends that are like, that I want to play with that are just like, well, I'm not getting a PS4 anytime soon. I want Xbox One.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, cool. There's a lot of people that I want to collab with on the stream that have Xbox One. So I probably will be doing some games over there and see where that goes. Like I may get a used one. I'm not that interested at all in the Xbox One, so much so that I'd rather get a used one than buying it brand new. And I'm usually that person where it's just like, I have to have a brand new. But no, I'll probably get like a used one and go from that. I don't know what I want to do, but I know, you know, I'll get games. I don't even know what Xbox One has.
Well, that's the thing. If you do get it, because of how desperate Microsoft is to sell Xbox Ones, you might as well get a new one, because a lot of the deals that they have, you can get one or if not more games along with the console if you pay, you know, if you just pay for it outright. Because I've seen bundles where, you know, like of course the Fallout bundle of course has Fallout 4 and has Fallout 3. And then I've seen other bundles where they've sold like maybe Forza and I can't even remember the other game. You know, it was like there were like 2 or 3 other games that they gave away along with, you know, the actual bundle that came with a particular game or something like that, you know. I know they did that with like the Gears of War bundle. That bundle essentially has 4 games, and then on top of that they gave away like another game on, you know, to go along with that bundle. So I'm pretty certain all throughout the Christmas season, most of the Xbox One bundles, there's going to be at least 2 to 3 games that they'll be giving away for free. You know, you get it at the right place, you can make out with a bunch of games, you know what I mean? So that's just my thought.
Time out.
Yes.
Where's Jay?
You know, he actually texted me a little while ago. He said he may or may not be on because his stomach is acting kind of funny.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So all them ribs and stuff that he was always talking about he was making, you know, he might have skipped on a little bit.
He want to share the ribs.
Hey, there you go. Karma is a yacht. But yeah. He texted me a while ago and said he might not be able to make it, but
that sucks. I hope he feels better soon.
Yeah, he will. It's, you know how it is. It's one of them little bouts. You go to the bathroom a couple of times, you sweat it out, you good to go the next day.
I'm really distracted by this. What is it? It's called Galak Z.
Yes.
It's taking up my attention.
Let me go ahead and talk about it, because that's actually what I was gonna do. Real quick. This is a very, very enjoyable little shooter of an indie game called Galak Z. It originally dropped on the PS4, I want to say maybe a few months ago.
Okay.
And it just recently came out for the PC. And this is the PC version that I'm playing. And basically what the game is an homage to Robotech. If you remember the old Robotech cartoons, right?
Yes.
So, you know, you can see the little guy in the corner. You know, he's got the little Robotech looking helmet, the Robotech looking artwork and spaceship that he's flying around. This game, I swear, it's the people that made it, they tried their best to pull just about everything they could that they loved from that whole Robotech kind of genre, and they put it in this game.
Okay.
And the way this game kind of plays out, if you kind of see the way the little ship is flying around, it's almost like playing a game of asteroids. You know that?
Yeah, that's what it reminded me about. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, that looks pretty cool.
Yes, that's exactly how the controls are like. So, you know, you hit the boost, you turn it in what direction you want to shoot, as well as turn the ship, and you know, you just do what you do. And the other part about it, though, is as you're playing, you can upgrade your ship, upgrade the weapons and stuff like that, and it's progressive through each one of the missions. So they've got a very, very linear storyline that they have for the game itself. And what I think makes the game so great and so nostalgic is that as you're playing it, the little guy in the corner, he talks to you, you know, he like talks trash to the enemies as you're shooting them. You hear the other enemies on their little walkie-talkies talking to you or talking back to you. Let me see if I can boost up the sound on it a little bit so you can hear a little bit of it. I don't know if it'll... I don't know if people can hear it or not. Yeah, right now I don't think anybody can hear it, but we will see whether or not it does the do. And I don't know why it's not doing that. It should. It was definitely doing it before. That's for dang sure. Yeah, as usual, technical difficulties. Well, I'll see whether I can work that out. But yeah,
is that you playing it? You play horrible.
Well, this is like the first mode. You know that. Oh, here we go. There goes the sound. This is like the first level, you know, when you first learn how to pilot the ship and do everything with the ship and use, you know, figure out what to run into and what not to run into.
Okay.
So as you can kind of see, you know, this is like the tutorial level. She's telling you everything that you can and can't do. And, you know, this boost, the actual physics of the ship itself, once you hit the boost, it's very, very hard to stop it. You know, it's like you have to pull one trigger in order to hit your boost, and you pull the left trigger to hit your reverse. So in order for you to actually stop the ship from moving, you have to hold both triggers at the same time. So it's like, you know, it's not 100% intuitive in how you maneuver the ship, because, you know, if you turn the ship and hit the boost, it's still going to progress in the direction you were initially going until the boost catches back up. So it's kind of hard to hit real turns unless you completely stop the ship and then make the turn. So yeah, you could say I kind of suck, but yeah, like I said, that very first mission, I'm really learning how to fly the ship and hit those turns and hit those corners without running into stuff, because there's a lot of environmental stuff in the area that you'll run into that can damage your shields or that can damage you. So it's kind of hard. It's harder than most games to actually dodge, dodge fire and everything. It takes a little while to get used to. But man, I had so much fun. I played this game for a good, let me see, three or 4 hours yesterday straight. Wow. And I was loving it. And it's hard because the mode that I put it in is like the hardcore mode, which means it doesn't save the game until you go all the way through 5 episodes.
Oh, damn.
So if you die, it'll start you back at the beginning of the episode that you died at. But if you leave the game and try to come back, it won't be there. That's a wrap. You'll have to start all the way back over at the beginning. Wow. And the only way it starts, the only way that you can save and come back to the actual game is if you go, and I love the missiles in this game, is if you go and go all the way through that 5th mission and go to what they call the next season, because it's very, very narrative driven as well as action driven. Because as you can see, they talk to you through the whole mission, telling you what's going on, what's coming at you, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and all this other kind of stuff. But the storyline is almost like, you remember that old 80s movie, The Last Starfighter?
Last Starfighter?
Uh-huh.
Nope.
Yeah, it was like, something happened while they were, in space, and every fighter that they had in their fleet was destroyed except for this one. So you're like the very last fighter ship that this massive spacecraft has. So, it's kind of interesting the way, I guess, the storyline will play out. I haven't really gotten that far. I've only gotten through like maybe 3 missions or so into the storyline. But no, it's really hard. It's still a lot of fun, and I love the artwork of this game. It is fantastic.
I'm kind of jelly because now I'm just watching it. It looks really, really relaxing.
Yeah, it is. It's dope.
I've got so many games that I need to freaking play. I had a huge medical exam that I had to study for, and I just haven't been able to do anything. Like, this EMT class is taking up every single bit of my life, and it's annoying the hell out of me. So when I finish in December, I'll be able to really catch up and get back to ZGO, because I am like dying to get back to the game. I'm dying to do some editing and just do my thing. God bless you.
Thank you. But yeah, I hear you. It's, you get through those lulls and you start seeing all this stuff you miss. It's like, oh, haha, snap, I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, yeah. I know how. It's that a lot goes. Of work. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And I know and I'm just now digging into like the listing of indie games that I had planned on playing. And like I said before, Galak Z is one of those. But yeah, it's a great little shooter. I'd really be interested to see. Because most of these indie games, once they put it out, that's usually not the end game. They usually wait to see what all the players think of the game, what they would like for the game, like in the game, and then they usually drop all these patches that adds additional content to it. So it'll be interesting to see if they do that with this. Yes, she does. She does. She definitely does. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
What else is on the agenda for today?
Yes, we actually have. Let's see, what was that other game? One of the other games I kind of did want to show that I had on here was a trailer for a game I kind of spoke about a long time ago, but it's kind of related to you remember that game that I showed on the show, not Beyond Soul, but goodness, it was called Rebel Galaxy, right?
Rebel Galaxy.
Yeah, so like the whole premise of Rebel Galaxy was, you're this capital ship flying around and you do all these different missions, and you essentially use your controller to take control of it, but any kind of larger ship that has broadsides rather than it being a fighter, so the actual size of the ship is bigger than the typical spaceship that you usually pilot in space games. So one of the other games that I had seen that kind of has the same control scheme as this game is called Dreadnought.
Okay.
And goodness, I think I have something on my computer, because this thing, anytime I type stuff in, it's coming up with some strange results. Let me see if I can find this out. Dreadnought game. Goodness, that's not right.
Dreadnought.
Game. That sucks. Here's the Galak Z footage. So let me pull that off. And see if I can get that. So while I'm looking that up, what's really on your game list that you're like, okay, this is what I've got to get into first when I finally get the time to get into it?
I think it was last week I was like, I'm gonna play 3/4 Home. That's on PS4. I've got to get that. I've got to get that downloaded. I was gonna play the new Game of Thrones game because Telltale Games sent me like a courtesy review code and stuff, and I ended up giving it to my friend because I have like no interest in Game of Thrones anything. I've tried to watch the show, and the show just does not appeal to me at all. Everybody, brothers having sex with sisters and this and that and all this other confusing bullshit, and nobody ever lives. So I was like, no, I think I'm gonna skip this. So I gave that to my friend. I finished Life is Strange. But I've got to upload that, that much. I've got to play that game, Armello. I'm really interested in it. Yes. I've got this other game. I've got some demos that I need to play and put up on my channel. I just, there's just so much going on. It's too much going on. I have so many games. And they're all like, pretty much all the games that I really want to play right now are not even mainstream games. They are indie games that, that take preference. And I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what's out anymore. Like I never played a Fallout game. So the only Fallout game that I've ever played was Fallout Shelter. And I was like, this is cool for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then I stopped playing it.
Right.
I may get it because everybody's just hyped up for it. But by the time that I get it, nobody really care about it. So I don't know, whatever.
Right. I honestly, I don't think that's going to be the case with Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly because I know that this version, especially on the consoles, you're going to be able to play mods. So any of the mods that people make on PC, you're going to be able to download on the console version and play on the console version. So kind of to the same. So I'm thinking it's going to have the replayability of like Skyrim, because Skyrim was the same way, except of course the mod portion of it wasn't available on consoles. So now that it's going to be available on consoles, I think people are going to be playing Fallout 4 for a long time.
Maybe. We'll see what happens. I mean, I may get it. You know, games are expensive, so we'll see what happens. Because like, I know everybody's hyped, especially about the customization process. So that's been pretty nice to watch people put up pictures of the characters that they customize through Fallout 4. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see, what other games? I can't really say that I have games that I care about that I really, really, really want to play. At least not mainstream ones. I don't know. I wish there was a game where I was just like, you know, I was very Witcher 3 about, you know, I was like, oh, I gotta get that game, which I still haven't even picked up that game, okay?
Oh, so you haven't even beat that game yet?
I haven't bought it.
Haven't bought it yet? What you doing?
Let me tell you, I have so many games. I've got Batman still in plastic.
Yep.
I've got what was it? What was the other game that came out? Damn. It was another popular game that came out. I forget. It's over there. I'm not gonna look. But there was a couple of games that came out for the PS4 that I was just like, oh, I'm gonna play it, and it's still in the plastic. Right. So, you know, it's not that
game. You said the Batman
game is still
Witcher
in plastic.
3.
Haven't opened it.
Did you have Metal Gear?
From the store. No, I didn't have Metal Gear. It was another game. It had red writing on it, I think. I'm trying to figure out what it was. It was like an adventure game, kind of. I know you know what I'm talking about. If I was not lazy enough not to get up and actually look, but
when did it come out?
Not too long ago, I don't think. Dad, really? I forgot the game. Damn. But anyway, yeah, I've got games still in plastic. I have some Xbox 360 and PS3 games still in plastic. Okay, I just never opened them. Not that I didn't want to play them. It's just that I have a bad habit of buying a bunch of games at the same time. And I'll get into a game and forget about the others, and then another good game will come out and I'll play that and buy another couple of games with it and forget about those. So that's kind of what happened. Plus, with the whole school thing, I haven't been able to really record anything or stream anything. The last thing that I played that was PS4 related was Until Dawn. Okay. That was the last PS4 related game, and I've still got to finish Dying Light. I only have, I think, 3% of that game done. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. I don't even know if I want to spend was it like $70 for a game now? Like almost $70 with the tax and everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yuck.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Yuck. Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good.
Let's see here. I'm gonna find that game, girl.
Oh gosh, you just haven't found it? You're hard.
No. I'm on it. I'm on this. Let's see. No, it's not Elder Scrolls Online. Not Fallout. It's not Batman Arkham Knight. And it was for PS4, right?
Yeah. What? Wait, what? Yeah, it was for PS4.
Okay. Dun 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 dun. Vanishing of Ethan Carter? I think you had already played that one.
No, I played that game. That game is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you played that one on PC, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
Let's see. Life is Strange, Sword Art Online.
You know what?
Mad
I know I
Max.
had purchased it from Amazon, so let me look at my list real fast because now it's bothering me. But my laziness is still like, nah, I'm not
Refuses to let it go.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I get it from Amazon? What did I do? Yeah, it was some adventure. Some adventure game.
Well, you already did Until Dawn.
Yeah, I did Until Dawn.
It's not Metal Gear Solid.
It's not?
It's not. Ooh. Man, that's into September and I still don't know.
Yeah. Dag, I'm seeing it in my head too. That's the thing about it. Like, I'm just like, what is that game? Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 4. Oh, okay. Wow, actually, that came out a while ago, didn't it?
I don't know.
You just had it for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That's one of those that's on my list too. I still have to get that one. Yep. I heard that's really good. My sister's been playing that one. She loves it a lot too. Loves it a lot.
Yeah, I've never even played a Far Cry game before, and I picked up because I got it for cheap at the time. Amazon was having that sale, some type of like blackout sale, some type of special sale, whatever.
Right.
And I'm selling it for real low, so I was like, oh, you know what? I'll get Dying Light and I'll get this, and I'll be set, and I'll have like 3 PS4 games. And I'll have that to keep me busy, not knowing that I wouldn't be playing it anyway because school took over my life. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it's pretty good though.
Interesting. Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, before I go on, I know because you were thinking about stuff to get on Xbox One. If you get it, the last Rise of the Tomb Raider came out for Xbox One.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. That came out.
Is it like the regular Tomb Raider, or is it like the Gauntlet like Tomb Raider?
No, it's like the last Tomb Raider that came out. The really good one.
Okay.
And I've heard a lot of people say that it's really good, so. Well, especially if you loved the other Tomb Raider and like the way that they made it and the cinematic way that it is, they said you'll really love this one. But yeah, there's honestly not a whole lot that's exclusive on the Xbox One that I think you'd really be impressed by, because I mean, you're not into Halo, so that wouldn't be a big thing. You're probably not. Yeah, you're not into Gears of War, so that wouldn't be one either. And the so-called best holiday season release ever list, out of all the ones that they had up there, Rise of the Tomb Raider is probably the only one that you'd probably play.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
Yeah, because everything else basically is on every other console for the most part that I can think of. They really don't have, this right now, these both systems don't really have that many exclusive games.
Right.
It's very interesting. So yeah, you pretty much be stuck in the same boat of basically just getting whatever games that your friends have so you could play with them.
Yeah, and it's funny as I've never really been a multiplayer type person, but lately I've just been like, you know what, let me just like hook up with some of these people.
For me, it actually makes the game better, because I know like games like even Halo and Battlefield or whatever, I'll get kind of upset and kind of burnt out on games like that after a while. But then one of the other guys that's on Ladies of the Round Table kind of network named Ed Johnson, For like the last, I guess ever since Halo came out, he's really been on and he's been playing it a lot. So anytime I would see him on, I jump in with him, and I've done a bunch of streams with him where we just jump in together, and we'd be chatting about football at the same time, because it would typically be on Sunday or something like that. So we'd have a good time, and that would actually make it more enjoyable, because we'd be able to tell each other what's going on, where not to go. Dude over there had the sniper rifle, go get it, that kind of thing. And we'd actually work out tactics as we were playing it, and it would actually help us. We wouldn't necessarily play better, but we would actually, we would still have more fun than if we were just grinding through it by ourselves, and we're screaming at the other teammates that we really don't want to unmute their mics and actually talk to, because that's like the worst part of playing multiplayer. If you get in with a whole bunch of strangers and there are a lot of people that you don't want to talk to or don't want to hear,
Right. I think the last time I've really... Oh, you know what? The last time I played multiplayer, that was on Dying Light. Mm-hmm. And I regretted it. Because, because the people... I always assume that there are people online that are my age, and I was on, I had a good amount of people. I was excited. I was like, yeah, I got like 30, 40 people on my stream. And then they were like, oh, can I play with you? So I said, okay, sure. And then little kids came on. I was like, shit. So little kids come on, they mess up your stream and all this other nonsense, and I had to play mom. It was stupid. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do like the whole maybe I'll just play with people that I know.
Yes, that's the way you do it. You set up a little schedule. When you can play, you let your friends know, and you hop on and get like a crew of like 2 or 3 other people. And trust me, that makes a world of difference for a lot of especially for multiplayer games. It makes it a lot more fun. A lot more fun. You'll find yourself playing those games more so when you got friends that are playing it with you. That's for certain. But that is a bit of Galak Z. And it's kind of interesting now. I mean, even just seeing like the nostalgia that Galak Z kind of has. Even if you look up and down the list of a lot of the games that different developers are coming out with, a lot of them are going back and they're finding all these old space games that they remaster and bring out before they go off and make a whole new reboot of the game. Because I know that did you ever play an old strategy game called Homeworld?
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah, Homeworld was an awesome strategy game that came out back in like 1999. It was like a 3D real-time strategy game, and you basically had this big mega mothership, and then as you progress through the game in each one of these different missions, your fleet would get bigger. You could hone in on all these different groups of fighters and ships that you could produce from your mothership, and you had to protect your mothership from all these different things that would come at it. And you were trying to go from where your homeworld was, I think, to another homeworld. And along the way, you would encounter all these dangers and stuff, and you'd have to protect your fleet and build your fleet. And it was an amazing game when it came out, and it did really, really well. And it was one of those games that was with a developer that kind of went bankrupt. So like, you remember THQ?
Yes. Yeah,
it was one of their IPs. So when THQ went bankrupt, a bunch of other companies went out and bought all of their IP, and Homeworld was one of those games. So I think just recently, like sometime this year, I think Gearbox actually bought it, and they remastered Homeworld and they re-released it. And of course, XCOM came out. When was that? A couple of years ago, and they rebooted XCom, and now this year sometime, I haven't heard about it lately, but XCom 2 is supposed to come out sometime this year.
Yes, I was so excited about that. I am a huge XCOM fan.
Yes, XCOM is dope. I'm surprised that I haven't heard more about it because I thought it was supposed to come out like this month.
Really?
Well, for a while, that's what I thought.
That I would spend money on. I haven't heard much about XCOM.
Yeah,
and
they backed it up.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about XCOM 2, and I haven't heard much about, well, I know it probably won't come out this year, but Mass Effect Andromeda. I haven't heard.
Yeah,
I saw
probably not till 2017, probably.
Yeah, I haven't seen. All I saw was like a flash of the title screen at E3, and then it was never heard of again.
Right, because they hadn't really started on it, really. I think at that point they just said, "Look, we're getting ready to work on it. Ding, bye."
Right.
But yeah, I think I just looked on the site, and it looks like XCOM 2 was backed up until February of next year. So right now it's only going to be on PC. But yeah, I can't wait for XCOM 2 myself. I loved Enemy Unknown, and I played that game so much.
Yeah, that is. It's funny you said that because like that was the first XCOM game that I ever played.
Oh, it was.
And yeah, it was the first XCOM game I've ever heard of and played. And I saw somebody play it, and I was like, you know what, this game looks really cool because I'm really big on strategy games. So
yep.
Excuse me. I got it. I purchased it. I played it. I became really attached to the characters because I started naming the characters after people that I actually know. So when they would die, I would like restart the game over so that they wouldn't die. You know, I make better decisions so that I can keep them alive, and I would just like sacrifice, you know,
somebody else
that I didn't
random dude that you didn't name.
And then there was some other one that came after it, I think, where they did like well, it was Aliens before, but it was like in first person, I think it was, and it was really bad. I hated that one. So then they had that, and I was kind of wondering when they're gonna have a next XCOM come out. So this is a really good time for me to save up some dough and just be first on line. And hopefully, if they have any like extras or anything, I'm probably gonna get the extras with it.
Yeah, they'll definitely have extras with it because I know what did they have? They had Enemy Within was the expansion pack for the other XCOM game. And the weird thing is I never bought the expansion because I had played out the original game so much that I was like, oh, what could they add to the game, you know, that would actually make it that much better. But my sister actually bought it, and she was like, what they added on Enemy Within made it like 10 times harder, you know, because instead of you just fighting the aliens and everything, there's like some other rogue terrorist organization that has like moles in your organization that you have to fight at the same time as the aliens. So it's like you're fighting two different organizations, and they're popping up all over the place, and they're both even more difficult to take on. Even though they added like mechs, you know, like you could turn your soldiers into these cyborg looking soldiers, and you'd have like a lot more powerful weapons on those cyborgs. But of course, if you did so, it wouldn't allow you to use like psionics with that particular character or something like that. So if you had like someone that you had developed up to have psionics and then all of a sudden turn them into the cyborg, they would lose their psionics or something to that effect. So, you know, they would provide all these different ways that you can make your character stronger or make your soldiers stronger, but they'd always have some drawback to that choice. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, you can make these uber soldiers and that you could tear through the aliens, because the aliens themselves, they added new units for the aliens also that would counter the ones that they give you. So I bought it, and I never really got a chance to jump into it. It's still sitting on my shelf, just like you were saying. You got this list of games that are still in the wrapper. That's one of the ones I have in the wrapper sitting on my shelf. But yeah, I went back, and I even went back and through like Bundle Stars or Humble Bundle and bought all the old school XCOM games. because they've got Terror from the Deep, Apocalypse, Interceptor. The one you were talking about was the Bureau, XCom Declassified.
The Bureau, that's what it was. I didn't like that one.
Yeah, I heard that one was pretty bad. I really had only played the original XCOM game before playing this new reboot. I didn't really even play any of the sequels to the original XCOM, which was surprising because I loved XCOM so much back then. But yeah, XCOM is just one of those games. Offline? Oh, for real? Well, yeah, for some reason it keeps dropping in and out. I'm dropping frames and stuff here and there, unfortunately. Like the last couple of weeks, every time I would play, it'll drop in and out for some reason. It says it's back up, but I don't know. Odd.
Oh, now we're back up.
Yeah. See, it drops and then it comes back. But yes. Here is, and let me pause this real quick. I actually did find the trailer or a little bit of the gameplay from Dreadnought that I wanted to show everybody real quick. Let me get this Galak Z out the way. And of course the developer is called Jaeger. I think the developer's Jaeger. The other one is called the publisher is called Greybox, I think. So this one or the other.
Hi, I'm Peter and I'm the game director on Dreadnought.
So I'm going to turn the volume down on that a bit. But the whole concept of the game, kind of like they're saying on the feed, is instead of you playing as like a fighter like in Wing Commander or something like that, it's a little bit more, it's almost like a real-time strategy kind of action game, because you have to manage, you're the captain of a capital starship. So there's all these different classes of starships that you can be, almost as if you're playing like StarCraft and you're playing as one, or a MOBA, I guess you could say, and you're playing as one mega unit or whatever that has a lot of skills or whatever. Instead, you're playing as a capital ship that has a lot of weapon systems. So kind of in this third person kind of perspective, which is very similar to the perspective that you play in the other game I was telling you about, Rebel Galaxy. You use the broadsides of your capital ship and the other weapon systems as well as the defensive systems, and you take on another fleet. And that fleet will have fighters, that fleet will have what they call sniper capital ships that just have a really, really concentrated, one really powerful concentrated beam attack or something like that, but goes really slow. And then they have cruisers that go a lot faster, but they're bigger than fighters and everything. But I saw this as a trailer that they had from PAX East from earlier this year, and that was like the first time I had seen it. And it was like this was like footage from a pre-alpha build that they had. And as you can see, for a pre-alpha, it's very, very polished. The graphics are gorgeous, the effects are gorgeous, and it's very interesting, what they have planned for it. Saying that there's all different classes of ships that you can be, and as you progress through it, you can upgrade the different systems, the different weapons on your ship, and as well as try to I guess take on the role of a different class of ship. So like here he went and respawned as, I think that's a cruiser or something like that, which is a lot more maneuverable, a lot faster than the Dreadnought that he was playing before. And of course there's different tactics that you have to use with each ship, and you have to work as a team, of course, in order to win. So it's I guess I won't say it's a strategy game. It's definitely more of a tactical action kind of game, because it definitely forces you to pay attention to what you're attacking, pay attention to what your teammates are doing, and work with your teammates in order to take down targets and everything. So there's definitely a lot of tactics involved when you play a game of this sort, because you attack the wrong ship at the wrong time. This little cruiser or whatever, he tried to take out a Dreadnought by himself, he'd just get wiped out real quick. mad quick. But yes, that is Dreadnought, and is definitely on my radar. I think this one isn't really due out until I don't even think they've said what quarter of this upcoming year, but it's of course only a PC. It's a PC only game right now. But as you can see, the pre-alpha just looks fantastic, and I got open when I saw this game.
Wow. It looks pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm.
I play it.
And I kind of like it because it's a different concept. Because typically, you play a space game, you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna be an X-wing or some fighter ship, and you're doing like just regular flight sim kind of combat. Whereas this is more like, hey, you're taking control of the Enterprise and you're using everything that the Enterprise has in an action kind of game, a third-person action style. And it's just a different perspective, a different way of playing a space or combat kind of spaceship game. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what comes of it. But yes, that is Galak Z. Let me see if I put up a little bit of the Rebel Galaxy game so you can kind of see what that one was. I know I put some of that footage up a while back, but it's very, very, very similar. I guess you could say in play style.
Okay.
Let's see, here it is. There we go. And yeah, for a while there, the game was I don't want to say unplayable, but it had a whole lot of bugs, and I couldn't really play a whole lot of it because every time I would try to get someplace, it would crash and it wouldn't save my progress.
Right.
So I was able to get in some good time with it, but it's another one of those kind of space games, like I said the other last week, that allows you to. It's kind of open world. You go and do just about anything you want. You can just be a merchant. You can be a pirate. You can, help out the militia, and it's got a little storyline, main quest that you can do, as well as all these other little side quests that you can do. But the way you control this ship is quite similar to the style that you would control a Dreadnought. I don't want to say that this ship is the size of the one that was in Dreadnought, but it's very similar. It's not a fighter. It's got automated turrets and broadsides and all that other kind of stuff. So I'll let that play in the background for people to see. But yeah, on that same note that we were talking about before, I know even after they've done XCom, which of course was an old school kind of space game that was real popular back in the day. That company called wargaming.net?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. They do all the World of Tanks, World of Warships, World of Warplanes, and everything. They actually went and they purchased an old space IP called Master of Orion. Have you played that before?
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, okay. That is a strategy game classic. That was back in the day when an old company called Micropose, they used to do a lot of really, really excellent strategy games and RPG games back in I want to say maybe the 80s, late 80s or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Master of Orion was one of the first ones that they did. And it was, I guess, what you could say the beginning of the genre that they call 4X strategy, where it's I think the X's stand for exterminate, explore, man, I can't even remember what all the X's stand for. But the whole purpose is you start off with your species or your race on your home world. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to explore the universe essentially and try to put colonies on as many of the planets that are habitable as possible. And as you're doing that, so are all these other races or species of aliens. So as you expand your, I guess you could say, domain or whatever, they're doing the same thing. So eventually you're going to run into other aliens, and you have to make the decision, oh, am I going to be friendly with them, or am I going to attack them? And as you start making those decisions, then all of a sudden other aliens, they come in, and they, you are forced with the same decision. You have to figure out if you're going to befriend them, if you're going to destroy them, or if you're just going to let them do what they do, And the whole time you're trying to research more technology so that your own colonies can thrive, or provide more technology for your fleet, or defenses, or for whatever you decide you're trying to do. So you can also build up your spies, I guess you could say, and see if you can steal technology from other aliens and see what they're doing. Right. So, you can either use diplomacy to kind of say, hey, I'd like to give you this tech if you give me this tech, or set up trade agreements with them, or you could just set up all your spies, figure out what they're doing, and steal their technology. And of course, risk war if you get caught. But they give you all these different kinds of options. You can customize all the ships. You can terraform planets if the planet isn't habitable or something like that. But the whole concept of Master of Orion is very, very nebulous. It would randomly generate all of the maps and everything. The maps were always relatively big, so the play times for each session would be just so long. It always took a very, very long time for you to play one whole session. But of course you could save at any turn, but it was turn based. You would do as many actions as you could in one turn, and then you would say, okay, I'm done with this turn, and then as you hit that button, your foes or the other aliens, they would do something in the background, and then it would be your turn, to do all these different kinds of things. So it was one of those classic turn-based universe exploration kind of space games, and it spawned so many other, I guess you could say, clones over the years.
Okay.
And like I said before, Wargaming.net recently bought the IP. And I think they're planning on doing a remake of the game to come out, I think sometime next year, I want to say. But I'm excited for that one. Because like I said before, Micropose was like one of those games, or one of those companies that had a lot of really, really great games. Like, you've heard of Civilization, right?
Yes, of course.
So yeah, Micropose published Civilization. They actually published, I want to say they published XCom, the original XCom game, before it was called XCom. They did like a bunch of Sid Meier games, like Sid Meier's Pirates. They did all the XCOM games. They did Silent Service. They did a bunch of flight sims. Micropose was just really, really big back then. Early days of like PC gaming. They had a lot of really, really great games. And Master of Orion, of course, was one of those that was in that. They also had a similar game called Master of Magic that was like the fantasy version of Master of Orion. It didn't quite do as well, but I still played it. It was still a lot of fun. I mean, back then that was all I played for the most part. I played simulations and strategy games. That was really all I was into when I first, started playing PC games, because most of my PC wasn't powerful enough to run games like Unreal and Doom and a lot of the first person shooters that were starting to come out. So I was forced to play the games that didn't require a whole lot of processor power, like all the little strategy games. So
right,
that's how I ended up playing a lot of those games. But yeah, there's a lot of little strategy games that are starting to get remade nowadays that you should definitely keep your eyes on.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think what was. I played another one not too long ago that I thought I did a review for. Yeah, 4X is explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. That's what it is. It was one of those. Man, I can't even remember the name of it now. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, Master of Orion was like the grandfather of that whole, of that whole genre, basically. Galactic Civilizations is kind of the same kind of game. Civilization is really the same kind of game as well. Endless Space, I think, is the one I played. Yeah, Endless Space was a 4X game that I played recently. And it's pretty good. It's not as good as Master of Orion, but it's based on the same concept, You might actually like it. Yeah, you should try that one.
Yeah, let me write that down right now because...
Endless Space. Yeah, it's a recent one that came out. It's really good. Endless Space, Endless Legend, and something else. But yes. And of course, for those who don't know or who don't remember, Jessica Jones is actually going to be out Friday. So be prepared to binge watch the entire season over this weekend. Because that is what I'm doing. I am definitely into it. I'm ready for it. Ready for Luke Cage and whoever else they decide to show in this season. I'm psyched for it. I'm ready for it. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No, I'm not even remotely interested. I really am not. I'm just like, who's Jessica Jones? And
well, that's the thing. That's the whole point.
Like,
nobody really knew.
This PI that used to be a superhero or something like that. I was like, oh, okay.
I think it's an interesting take on the whole superhero, what's the term I'm looking for? Genre, I guess you could say. Because, instead of it being someone that's out there fighting crime, instead she's out there solving mysteries. She's a detective. Well, not a detective, like you said, she's a PI.
Right.
So she's trying to give up her days of, running around after the Avengers or fighting the Avengers, because she actually did fight the Avengers at one point.
Oh, did she win?
No. She got her tail kicked. But she became very good friends with Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So that's supposed to be a part of in the comic book, that's a part of the appeal. So a lot of fans of Captain Marvel kind of latched on to Jessica Jones because, as she decided to no longer, be a superhero, she ended up, becoming better friends with Captain Marvel, who was going through her own problems at a particular time when she made all these decisions. So yeah, she's apparently going to be a part of this whole Defenders team that Marvel is working with. That'll include Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And of course, Luke Cage, as you can see in the trailer, Luke Cage is going to be in this series to a degree. I'm not certain how much of a role he has in the entire series, but I know in the comic book he had a decent role through a good portion of the comic book. And apparently the foe that she'll be fighting in it is some supervillain that actually controls other people's minds. And apparently that whole conflict between her and this villain is supposed to reveal something about her past, because he apparently knows her from her past and who she used to be. And I think and again, I haven't finished reading the comic book yet, but I think what he knows about her is a part of why she decided not to be a superhero anymore and just be a private investigator. So, it's an interesting role because I think the whole concept is supposed to have her doing things without relying necessarily on her superpowers all the time. It's more mental than it is, hey, which power can I use and who can I team up with to use the power in order to defeat my foe. It's a lot more mental than than your typical superhero story. So I'm kind of interested to see how it'll go, see how it'll be. If it's anything like Daredevil, then I'll be immensely happy. So we'll see. All episodes this Friday. Ready. I am ready. And I think a lot of other people are ready too. So I think you'll enjoy it. You should at least check out like the first episode to see what you think of it. Because I think it'll be quality.
Maybe.
Maybe. Of course. Maybe. But let me see. Was there anything else that you had agenda-wise that you kind of wanted to go over? Because as always, this part of the season is really dull unless it's one of the mega games. There usually isn't a whole lot news-wise that goes on this time of the year.
Yeah, it's been pretty slow.
Yeah.
It's been really, really, really slow. Like, I can't even. It's ridiculous. Right.
But hey, we can call it a show. We can definitely call it a show because I think I'm kind of undecided as how next week's gonna go, being that that's like Thanksgiving week. I'm not certain how everybody's schedule and everything is going to go, so I'm not certain how that'll go. But if anything, that'll give us plenty of fodder to kind of save up for the week after. And hopefully we'll have plenty more to discuss then. But yes, let people know if you're going to be doing anything or getting into in the coming weeks or so. Let the people know what you're digging into.
Oh, I'm not really doing anything special lately. Trust me, people, be patient. I promise you, when school finishes December 17th, I am going off on y'all. Now I'm just gonna have all the uploads you can handle. ZGO will definitely be on and popping again because I do most of the stuff on ZGO by myself. And it's gonna be crazy. Watch, you guys. But lately, it's just anything with medical is gonna take up all your time. I thought it was gonna be like regular college, you can get shit done and that's whatever.
Nope.
But learning how to responsibly take care of the human body when it's in danger is
hard work.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work.
Who knows? Work it out, girl. Work it out. So yeah, I know that myself, I think I do have some plans to kind of dig into a bit more Battlefield in the coming days because of all the free DLC they've been dropping over the past month or so. Well, not month or so, over the past few months or so. I know they released something else recently in the past few weeks. That's like another old, I think, Battlefield 2 or Battlefield 3 map or something like that. So they're still releasing stuff for good old Battlefield 4, and it's been a long time. So I'm going to try to see if I can snag Jay one day, and, we'll do like a group stream of, Battlefield 4 and some of the night mission maps that they have and everything, and see what else is new on Battlefield. Also, I'll probably get Ed Johnson. We'll probably do some more Halo somewhere in there as well. But I've got a couple of more indie games that I have to dig into. I think I'm supposed to do some Rocket League. That new game Paladin that I actually saw the rest of the Ladies of the Round Table team playing earlier today. Looks like it's pretty fun. I might do that for a little bit.
Paladin?
Yes, or Paladins or something like that. It looks like some kind of third person, I guess MOBA. I don't know. It was hard to tell what was really going on the short amount of time I was watching, but it looked really, really good. It looked like it was a lot of fun. So I might check that out. But I know starting in December, I'm going to be all balls out. I'm going to be all into Mech Warrior Online because the 2 mechs that I purchased like weeks ago are going to be finally released. So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more Mech Warrior Online in December. So be prepared for those streams, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be a lot of fun. So yes, stay tuned. The Geekswagg crew, we're going to try to get some more content, a lot more gameplay content out there for you guys. Some more vids, as well as ZGO Online. We got stuff coming, y'all. You know how it is. Holiday season, we'll have some more time to do stuff. So you'll see some more vids from the whole crew out there. So stay tuned, stay with us. As always, thanks to the Ladies at the Roundtable crew, LORT Nation. What's going on with you guys? We will catch you guys next time. And of course, once again, Galak Z, great game. Go check it out. Check it out. Great game. Great game. All right, guys. We love y'all. Thank you for being there. Say bye to the people.
See ya. Peace.
Laters, y'all.